Yes. If there's a movie that depicts ghosts or skeletons, they don't like it. That's why Ghostbusters is not going to be released in China, which is why it's not doing too well.
Interesting. And because I'm with the Chinese on this one.
Yeah, I don't like
me and the spooky films. Never been.
You don't like Mr. Skeletal?
Never been a fan. Can't say that I have been. So I'm gonna side with the Chinese on this one. Please don't come for me.
No, go ahead.
But yeah, I'm. He said he overwrote, which I think is A, an understatement, and B, I was certain that we got out of that universe, the Avatar universe, all that we could get out of the Avatar universe. I was not aware that there was more plot to mine.
Yeah, I mean, unless he wants to do, because they are making a new Predator movie and they are making Alien 5, there could be a tie-in there, and they're making Blade Runner 2, which are all in the same universe. So
explain this to me. This is now just dawning on me, and I feel
you didn't know that?
I did not know that.
Okay, so there's an Easter egg in Prometheus, which is a letter from Wayland to Eldon Tyrell from Blade Runner. So the two are sort of tangentially connected to each other, sort of vicariously, but they are, like, it's canon that Blade Runner and Alien pretty much take place in the same universe,
right?
Which makes sense, and they don't really have to be like connected at all because they're so far apart chronologically,
right?
But
that I know, because they definitely hinted at that with all the like promotional stuff that they did. There was a promotional TED Talk that Wayland did.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah.
Before.
I thought you were doing a Blade Runner thing. It's like there's nothing of Blade Runner I haven't seen.
Yeah, no. I meant before Prometheus.
Yeah.
So the Alien and Prometheus connection, that one makes more sense to me than the Blade Runner one. Not that it can't also exist, but I just...
Well, Prometheus is essentially a prequel to Alien, like, in a sense.
Yeah.
Because it's got like the xenomorph kind of, and it's got the horrible births, and it's got the eggs.
So horrible birth indeed.
Horrible births.
That made me cringe in the theater when I saw that.
I never actually... No, I did see it in the theater. I'm sorry. The party in Alien 3 where she's falling into the... Have you seen that?
It's been so long.
Okay, so I'm not spoiling it, at least. When she falls into like the molten iron and the alien pops out of her and it looks pretty cartoonish.
Yeah.
There's like... It's like a rule. There must be a horrible birth in every Alien movie. I don't know what the deal is with that, but...
Okay. Well, because to freak you out, because it works and it's effective.
Yeah. Well, plus, like, Alien's supposed to be supposed to be an analogy for horrible things too. So
that's true.
Yeah.
Which I used to know, and for whatever reason, I don't know why that particular information did not stick. Like what it was supposed to be an analogy for specifically.
Oh,
did not stick in my head for whatever reason.
No. Okay.
But yeah. That whole thing with the universes being connected, I don't know if they're gonna play harder on that as you go forward.
It'll probably just be Easter egg type deals. But
I'm okay with that. I prefer that to basically, your Warner Brothers, Marvel. we're gonna universe build, and
well, it's like Marvel, but much more cumbersome. And I'm not saying that as a Marvel fan by any Marvel movie fan by any stretch of the imagination.
Yeah, the Marvel way that they did it made a ton of sense, though.
Yeah, because at least they had a plan, sort of. After Iron Man, at least they had a plan.
And it's basic, like they had it in phases, and I was like, okay, that feels a bit pretentious.
Yeah,
to just have them all labeled like that, but fine. Fine.
It's fan fodder, so they can go nuts over something,
Correct. It works though.
It does. I mean, it works great. People snap it up. I don't, but people snap it up.
They had the Justice League trailer.
Oh, I haven't seen it.
At Comic-Con.
Yeah.
I liked it.
Did you?
I fell right back in again. I don't know why. I'm Charlie Brown trying to kick the football. They got me again.
Well, maybe it'll be the Avengers to Iron Man 3, Like it'll be sort of the equivalent where Iron Man 3 was a really kind of a bad movie.
It was a really bad movie.
Which referenced Chattanooga, by the way.
Quite a bit, actually.
It takes place here.
It was kind of cool.
No, because
I was just looking at it and I was like, but that's not Chattanooga.
It's like Winter's Bone, that movie with Jennifer Lawrence is supposed to take place in like Alabama or something. I'm like,
that's not what Alabama looks like.
There's snow. It can't be.
You all have... That's true. I was just like literally just looking at the movie and going, I've been to Alabama. It doesn't look that nice. I hadn't even gotten to the snow
Yeah.
in the analysis. Yeah, no, that can't possibly be Alabama.
Alabama's one of those states where the football is the only redeemable part of the state, and it's only barely that.
And the football, I wouldn't say that, only because the football would be, but Alabama fans are so insufferable that it's about a neutral gain.
Yeah.
We don't gain enough from Alabama football.
At least, well, I will say one thing, so we don't get off on a tangent. I'll say one thing, so I don't divert everything horribly and crash this with no survivors.
Exactly.
There is a store in Alabama that I've been wanting to go to for a long time called Unclaimed Baggage, where they sell.
True.
Yeah,
I heard about that.
That redeems Alabama for me because that's really cool. I might be able to get a camera for like mega cheap or something. So that's all I had.
Okay. Yeah, that seems really cool. I think we should just go on an adventure sometime and then just put everything up on the Facebook page, since
actually that's not a horrible idea.
Since that's what the pressure is for us to do here.
Yeah. Should we talk about internal pressure, or do you want to get back to your thing?
I mean, that was pretty much the end of my thing.
Okay.
That we have a 2, 3, 4, and 5 to Avatar, and I have no idea how it is that we're going to do any of that.
I think that Cameron should not have announced that he has more than 2 more movies. I think.
Right.
Like I understand filmmakers, especially people who are writer, director, producers, like James Cameron is. Like, he's going to be sort of not full of himself, but he's going to have confidence in his filmmaking ability because everything he's done has printed money. So he can be like, yes, I'm going to make 5 movies, and the studios just toss money at him like it's candy. But announcing like I'm going to make 5 more movies, or however many, or 4 more movies, that's a little bit far. Hold back on that info.
It is, and like when you announce 5 more movies, what happens if Avatar 2 is just not received well at all?
Yeah,
then you end up with
you're like, shoot, man.
The Justice League trailer that we just mentioned, where DC Comics was like, we're going to make Batman v Superman and Justice League 1 and Justice League 2 and a Flash movie and a Wonder Woman movie, and then Batman v Superman wasn't good, and then everybody was like, oh, but we promised already. Now you can't not make the movies.
There's still hope for Suicide Squad being good, which I think it will be.
I think it will be too. I'm
very excited about that.
Me too.
Like, I've gotten past all the hang-ups I had about Suicide Squad, and I'm now okay with it being what it is.
What hang-ups did you have?
The Deadshot being black? No, I was fine with that. No, Will Smith has his eye patch on the wrong eye, and that annoyed me once it was pointed out to me.
Fair enough.
I honestly don't care that Will Smith plays him. I think he's a great actor, and I think he'll do a fine job. But especially like Nick Fury, they switch him around every 5 minutes.
Right. In the comics and in everything else.
That kind of thing doesn't bother me with comics. Like, it does, like the new Rocketeer movies coming out, and they're making the Rocketeer be a black woman, and I just don't see that as working out too well in terms of like storytelling. Like, it's set in the 1930s.
Gotcha.
And
so
I'm
that
like,
kind of breaks what you know about America in the 1930s, which is that we were not as tolerant as we would like to have been.
Maybe that says something, though, about either my mentality or America, in the sense that I'm fine with someone flying around with rocket boots, but I'm not okay with that person being a black person in the 30s.
That's true, but it's then at that point, like, why set it in America in the 1930s,
right?
Or why set it in America at all,
right? Or set it in England, where they were much more tolerant at that time.
Yeah, like you could have done any number of things that the boots were accepting as breaking reality already,
right?
But if everything else is supposed to be up to reality, like, oh, what if a person like that was in this time period?
Yeah,
then I believe in America, the hang-up would have been, wow, she's a black woman. Why are we
right?
I do find hard to believe, and I think that says more about America than us.
Maybe so.
Frankly.
Yeah, it seems like a sort of forced marketing thing that's not going to work too.
Right.
But yeah, no, I have no problem with Deadshot. I think that's a good idea. Will Smith's a great actor. I'm surprised they got him to do it, actually.
Yeah, me too. Jared Leto Joker was one of my hangups.
Honestly,
the tattoos and stuff, I was like, I'm not a fan.
Dad's gonna freak kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's like, come on.
And then I heard him say things as the Joker, and I was sufficiently terrified. And I was like, this is gonna be fine.
I actually knew his voice would be okay. That was the one thing I wasn't worried about.
Right.
Because I've heard Jared Leto before, and I can see him pulling off like a creepy kind of voice. But the look for me was just like, come on, that's like hipster, I'm so cool Joker.
Mm-hmm. He's got a grill or whatever it is that's up with his teeth.
He's got horribly damaged teeth that he's then replaced, probably like a grenade explosion or some crap like that.
I have no idea.
I'm sure it's part of his origin story.
But the more I look at it, the less weirded out that I am. He doesn't wear shoes, which I don't know why, but that strikes me as a Joker-y thing. Yeah, I'm okay with the movie now. I've basically come around.
I'm predicting now that Batman's going to throw light bulbs at him, and that'll be the end of him. That's how you defeat the Joker.
Walk across this.
Yeah. Hot coals in front of him. You can't get me now. It's over, Joker. Falls into a pit of glass like a Saw movie.
Right.
Maybe the Joker does keep like little slip-on shoes in his arsenal.
Just in case, he just looks around to make sure
nobody's looking.
People have to know that he's crazy, but
maybe he's wearing like latex feet.
It's possible
that are reinforced somehow, and like that'll be one of his gags. Like he'll rip off his fake latex feet. He's like, "Ha ha, Joker," or "Ha ha, Batman."
Batman can literally defeat the Joker with just some well-placed Lego blocks. Because obviously, stepping on Legos in the middle of the night. I don't know if you've ever done that.
Yes. Just like put him in a dark room with a bunch of end tables. Right. No, curse you, Batman. It'll be the undoing. This coffee table, the bane of my existence.
You're listening to 1240 on News Talk Radio, and shall we jump on to our internal pressures?
Yes,
the internal pressures of life here at the station.
I think they're more on you than they are on me, and I'm not sure how fair that is.
I think it's fair enough. Just because I specialize in sports specifically, and this entire station specializes in news. Mm-hmm. So while you are the news director, the slack of putting everything up on Facebook is filled by, David Tulis, who is really good at covering news also.
Right.
So he can do it, and then you can not feel the pressure. There's nobody else that can do sports here. So that's just me. And that tends to be it's not stressful, but it's just the way that I am with Facebook is that I am morally opposed to Facebook, just as an institution that exists. So I try not to spend any time on it at all.
Should we say that as a multimedia social networking radio station?
Only because there are other forms of media that I feel relatively comfortable saying that.
After all, there's LinkedIn.
There's LinkedIn, of course,
which was bought by Microsoft, by the way.
Was it?
No, sorry, Google. Google bought LinkedIn.
Could Google have done anything for LinkedIn to make it look like business Facebook? Because that's what it looks like.
It's strictly territorial, actually.
Okay.
Like no joke, they want the real estate, the physical real estate that LinkedIn is on. Like the LinkedIn offices in California are in a very nice place. Mm-hmm. And I'm pretty sure that Google just bought the company because it'd be easier to do that than to convince LinkedIn to move somewhere else.
Wow.
Yeah, so...
I wish I had enough money to make decisions on a whim like that.
Man, I'd be like, I live somewhere downtown, like those apartments that are right on the river, sort of near the aquarium.
Yes, I love those apartments.
I like fantasize about those every day. I would like buy up the entire apartment complex if I had enough money and just keep it vacant, so I wouldn't have to make my bed nearly as much. That kind of thing. I would just buy the whole thing because I hate the sound of other people. I'd let my friends live there for free, probably. Like you could live there if you wanted to. But if it was the sound of...
I appreciate that.
Yeah, if it was the sound of people... I get the top floor, though. If it was the sound of people I don't like, then I just get very annoyed very easily. Like, I have a neighbor who revs his engine at like 11 at night.
Oh, man.
And he's got like a big Camaro thing, and I've thought many times about cutting his brake lines, but I remember he's got like a wife and kids, so I feel bad for a little while about that.
Well, if you have a wife and kids, if you really cared about them that much... Is a Camaro your car?
That's fair enough. They do have a minivan, though.
Okay, so fair enough. So that was his like midlife crisis car.
Right. He's got his coupe. He's got his coupe. He's got his coupe because I'm American. He's got his coupe that he drives around, and it's very powerful, and it doesn't have fuel injection, and it's very loud. It has the same.
Of course.
It goes the same speed you could do with a 4-cylinder with turbocharged, but whatever. You got to be loud and expensive. So whatever, you can do that if you want.
Loud and expensive here because you ride it. Like for me, if I get a car, like a real car that's supposed to have any real amount of speed,
right?
I'm not getting an automatic car.
No. Well, you could turbo your Civic actually, and you could go pretty dang fast in that. I mean, people rice up their Civics all the time.
Yeah, I've seen a few of them around here.
Yeah.
Just from what the people who have done things with their Civics have told me is that the police target you a little extra for having a foreign car that is, shall we say, more powerful.
What if you riced up a VW? It's technically a foreign car, but it's also not.
it's a very well. I think just because of Chattanooga being proud of having Volkswagen, that's our car.
They wouldn't pull you over just out of loyalty to
Right.
Volkswagen. They'd be like, God bless America. I'm not pulling him over.
You guys are fine.
Yeah, I was all right.
That emissions testing, it's all water under the bridge.
I was trying to argue to my friend sort of jokingly that there was no damage involved in that. And he's like, but what about all the people who bought it for the low emissions vehicle? I was like, forget them, man. They have a nice car. Why are they complaining?
Well, that placebo effect, man.
Right. Like, I've got a 98 Buick LeSabre. The windshield's cracked. One of the rear view mirrors doesn't work. It's hanging off the side like an eyeball. You know, like, it's like I drive the worst car imaginable, but I'm not complaining.
Right. Like, you just, because the emissions weren't where you thought they were going to be, doesn't mean that you're not driving a far more emissions efficient car than what most of us are driving on the road.
I've got to put like $30 of gas into my car every week.
Right.
And they probably put like 10.
Oy.
Yeah, well, it's a GM from the 90s. I mean,
so yeah, they were created for the sole purpose of guzzling gasoline, and pretty much
it was the 90s. Gas was cheap. Thanks, Clinton.
It's semi-cheap again, I guess. We're getting back.
If you account for inflation, it's about the same price it's always been, by the way. Like, gas has almost stayed at a constant price just because of inflation. Like,
I'm okay with this realization.
We perceive gas as being a lot more expensive, but actually when you account for inflation, the prices fluctuated a bit, especially in the oil crisis in the 70s.
Mm-hmm.
But it's actually about as much now as it was in the 60s. So yeah, our money's just crap. The gas is fine.
Okay. Well, so basically, I should be directing my complaints towards the government.
Federal Reserve specifically.
Federal Reserve. I'm coming for you, Bernanke. I know you don't work there anymore, but you're the last Federal Reserve person.
I wasn't going to say anything.
Yeah, I know you were there.
Now it's Grandma yelling.
Tell me where they are. You're listening to Hot 1240, Hot News Talk Radio. More of Two Millennials Talk next.
You're hurting me, baby. I'm blowing everything up. We're starting over. I'm doing a new show. I want guys who push it to the middle of the table and go over the top. Take a risk, fail miserably. I'm right, and I'm not wrong, and I'll never back down. Conflict works. Allow it.
It's The Herd with Colin Cowherd. Right here and everywhere. Noon Eastern.
You give us 12 minutes and 40 seconds, we'll give you Chattanooga and the world.
News Talk 1240. You and I know that real men are prepared for anything. You know what I'm talking about because you're a Take Charge guy. Everyone's talking about Grimm's Tactical, featuring first responder gear, survival gear and equipment, Voodoo Tactical, Leapers. For personal protection, Grimm's Tactical features non-lethal personal protection gear, AR/AK parts, knives, canning and dehydrating equipment. If you hike and camp, Grimm's Tactical has got what you're looking for. Bags and packs. And for your side piece, concealed carry holsters. For men and women. Plus, Grimm's Tactical carries a wide variety of freeze-dried food. Wise Mountain House. Backpacker's Pantry. Grimm's Tactical, where law enforcement shops. Safari Lane. Blackhawk. 511. First responder gear at Grimm's Tactical. Grimm's Tactical, 8115 East Brainerd Road, in the shopping center next to the Walmart Marketplace. Look for the Mighty Mini U-Haul office. Grimm's Tactical is right next door. Grimm's Tactical, 8115 East Brainerd Road. Finding just the right place to live can be a daunting task. Stop your search. In Chattanooga, the place to live is Cross Creek Villas for under $1,000 and available for immediate move-in. You can enjoy this 2-bedroom split layout, over 1,000 square feet, 9-foot ceilings, an extra-large patio or balcony. And don't forget to ask about their preferred employer program. Cross Creek Villas is a gated community, offering a 24-hour fitness facility, a beautiful pool and hot tub, and Cross Creek Villas is pet-friendly. Stroll the pet park with your best friend and enjoy the free use of their business center and clubhouse. Plus, if you mention you heard this on the radio, your application fee is free. Cross Creek Villas, close to downtown off of Highway 58. Go to crosscreekchattanooga.com. That's crosscreekchattanooga.com or call 894-0446. That's 894-0446. Redefine the way you live at Cross Creek Villas. Go to crosscreekchattanooga.com or call 894-0446. Cross Creek Villas.
Any lingering showers will gradually diminish through the nighttime. Some clouds overnight, lows into the lower 70s. Now for Friday and Saturday, still a little unsettled with some clouds with scattered mainly afternoon showers and storms popping up each day and highs closer to 90. This forecast is brought to you by Super 8 Hotels. When you're on the road and it's time to stop for the night, count on Super 8 Hotels, where you'll always find a dependable room at a great rate. Learn more and book today at super8.com. And I'm Storm Team 12 Chief Meteorologist Patrick Orr.
On AM 1240, Hot News Talk Radio.
You give us 12 minutes and 40 seconds, we'll give you Chattanooga and the world.
News Talk 1240.
Hot 1240 Hot News Talk Radio with your Hot News Now update. A suspected bank robber and possibly a suspected bomber is on the loose somewhere in Chattanooga after a bank robbery at the Southeast Federal Credit Union on National Avenue at 2:30 p.m. yesterday. This closed all roads in between Bailey and McCauley Avenues, which are now back open. Police say the suspect walked in, demanded cash, ran away with it, and left behind a suspicious package. Nobody was hurt, and a bomb squad assisted by the FBI detonated the package. Nobody's been injured, but the suspect is still somewhere in Chattanooga. Warrants have been taken out for a 16-year-old girl after police say she stabbed her 19-year-old friend twice during a fight outside of a house on Woodside Street. Warrants have been issued for the juvenile for attempted second-degree murder and aggravated assault. The Chattanooga Police Department was notified by a local hospital that a female had arrived with stab wounds to the neck. If it's going on in the Tennessee Valley, it's going on Hot 1240 Hot News Talk Radio. Check us out on the TuneIn Radio app for your smartphone. Like us on Facebook.
Hot News Talk 1240.
So one of my favorite things about the news is when weird things happen, and then news reports try to impartially report very strange things. I think that it would be good if, as a reporter, you could just acknowledge the strangeness of the thing you're reporting on. But you do the news. Do you ever step outside of news rustle and go, okay, this is the most bizarre thing that I happen to be reporting today?
Not overtly, but there was one instance where a man robbed a bank on Ringgold Road and escaped on a pink girl's bicycle. And that really happened. And so you can't like make jokes about the news when you're doing the news. So I just said, be on the lookout for a pink girl's, a robber, I think it was a black male on a pink girl's bicycle. It's just ludicrous.
Oh man, I just imagine the most like gangster guy ever.
Right, that's just what I'm picturing.
On a bicycle with training wheels and the frills hanging off the side.
Like his knees are up to his ears trying to pedal.
You'll never get me, coppers. Just.
What if he couldn't though? It's like in The Shining, like he's on that little big wheel thing. Like what if he just gets, like the cops are speeding after him and running after him, and he just darts in between like fence posts. It's like, darn it,
we've been had again.
His little like bell goes ding ding. Yeah, so you can't acknowledge it, just not overtly, and heaven forbid you ever laugh on the air, because that's a bad thing. That's a really bad thing.
That's a really bad thing.
If you start laughing about a news story, especially when someone dies in like kind of a humorous way.
The death, I think, is definitely the unprofessional look there.
Like there was something about, there's a news video I saw, it was TV news, and this guy had like brutally murdered somebody. But in his mugshot, he's making like this ludicrous face where his eyes are like all big and he's like that. And it's just like the female reporter, she can't help but laugh at it. And she's laughing about this story while narrating like she was brutally murdered. It's just like
one of my favorite videos that I've ever seen is Anderson Cooper. He's covering this story of this weird festival where women go up to men that they want to dance with and hit them with a pussy willow. And he reads the line. And he just starts laughing and can't stop. Like 5 minutes of just Anderson Cooper giggling, like because he's trying not to laugh. And it would have been less ridiculous if he just out and out laughed.
Yeah.
But he couldn't.
Yeah.
So he just giggled, which was worse. It was so much worse.
It's so hard to try to suppress the laugh, especially like, can you imagine being on TV too and having that face that everyone makes when they're trying not to laugh?
Yep.
Like, everyone's like, he's doing it. Like, this is horrible for radio, by the way. You're doing that pursed like mummy face when you're trying not to.
Right, like you've tasted a lemon.
Right, multiple lemons.
Like you just crammed your face filled with lemons, and then you're trying not to cry.
Like you ate like a whole bag of lemon heads, and then like nothing but citric acid. You're just like trying not to laugh.
That face.
Yeah.
He made that face, and then he lost the battle with that face.
His facial muscles won the battle eventually.
Eventually, I don't think anybody could have survived that story, because the way that it was a whole news package, and it was run as this serious story.
Yeah.
And then he had to do like the follow up part after the story, and could not. He just sat there and looked in the camera, and you could just see him starting to lose the battle with that story. And I found a story here that I couldn't. That if you had to report on this story, I'm not sure if I'm disappointed in America or not, but the headline is Bradley Cooper at the Democratic National Convention.
Yeah.
The American Sniper fans are upset that the actor isn't really Republican.
Well, we know that the American Sniper probably was.
He probably was.
He seems like a conservative kind of guy.
But
that's like being upset that Clint Eastwood really is. That's like being upset that like Sean Connery didn't kill people in space. You know,
right?
Like in Outland. You know, like he's a character. He's playing a character.
I don't mean to break this to you, but John Wayne, not actually a cowboy.
He was not alive in the 1860s. Shocking.
Not a real cowboy. I know that this is disappointing for some of you guys, but
Denzel Washington's not the president.
No.
Shocking.
Not the president, or a high school football coach,
or an American gangster,
or a Union Civil War soldier. Just none of those things. He was none of those things.
Denzel Washington lied to us in all those posts.
In all of those movies. Real disappointed in you, Denzel.
But isn't that acting anyway? It's just grand deception that we all sort of accept.
I think that's what the point of it is.
Yeah.
I think with acting though is, especially with TV shows, I think more so than movies.
Yeah.
People convince themselves that the actors are the people that they are playing.
The X-Files immediately jumps to mind.
Go on.
To me. Because people thought Dana Scully and Fox Mulder, the actors who played them, Gillian Anderson and Fox Mulder, Gillian Anderson and David Duchovny.
I don't know why I can remember that.
Really were like in a relationship, and they may have been, but Gillian Anderson is notably lesbian.
So probably not.
Probably not. No, and they actually didn't really like each other. I mean, they do now, but they didn't really like each other because they were together all the dang time. And if you're together, you just start grate on each other.
Even you would punch me in the face if you had to spend all day with me, every day with me.
I don't know about that actually, but
I don't think I could be that annoying. No, but certainly
we just make jokes about how annoying the situation is,
and probably just diffuse it that way.
Right? Yeah, that's how I diffuse everything actually.
But with the two of them, like there's a lot of things that got ascribed to them. That, like, for instance, it was David Duchovny who is probably more skeptical in real life of aliens and things of the supernatural, and Gillian Anderson, who believed it more, but their characters played opposite beliefs to them in real life, and people just couldn't wrap their minds around that at all.
No. It's
which is crazy.
The only like antithesis to that whole idea that I can think of is Patrick Stewart, where he basically is Captain Picard. Like the character of Captain Picard essentially is Patrick Stewart, or eventually became, I guess, Patrick Stewart.
That's true.
Like in an interview with him, he seems like Captain Picard, basically. Like put him in space in a captain's chair, he would be Captain Picard.
You would change absolutely nothing about the guy.
Right.
I will also make a special caveat of Henry Cavill as Superman. That just in interviews he just sounds like British Superman. Like he says,
I forgot he's British.
He says the kindest things, the nicest things. People asked him about like the DC universe versus the Marvel universe, and he was like, "We can all get along." Like he just keeps giving Superman answers to things, and I'm like, he might actually.
Does he hate communism and Nazis?
I'm gonna answer for him and say yes.
Okay. Probably the Nazis part. I don't know about the communism.
The communism part. No. Have you ever read the Superman Red Sun?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I love it so much.
Which, by the way, speaking of DC Comics, since I have once again diverted us to this path,
You're fine.
I don't know if you know what's on my brain right now.
I have almost working knowledge of DC Comics.
I watched the Batman Year One movie that you recommended. That I watched. It's really good.
I told you it was good.
Yeah,
it's really, really good.
It was pretty fantastic. I enjoyed like the voice acting and everything, which I didn't realize the Commissioner Gordon was
I don't remember, so you're gonna have to refresh me.
Plays Walter White in Breaking Bad. Why can't I remember his name?
Cranston.
Bryan Cranston.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah,
so that's interesting.
I saw it in the credits and I was like, "What?"
Was Kevin Conroy Batman again, or did they get a different guy?
I think it was Kevin Conroy.
Okay, because if it's not Kevin Conroy, it doesn't work for me. And like any animated capacity, Batman should sound like Kevin Conroy. If he doesn't, I'm just like, who's this guy?
Okay,
that's not Batman. That's some guy pretending to be.
I think you should let that one pass. Because if it hadn't been, then they fooled you.
That's true. That's fair enough. Like Mark Hamill has to be the Joker, otherwise it's some pretender.
Right. I don't remember exactly what Batman cartoon it was, where like the Joker was A, not Hamill, and B, had dreads for some reason.
That's the Batman.
The Batman.
That's the one that was on when I was coming of age. I watched Batman the Animated Series growing up, but when I was like a preteen, it was the Batman that was on the air. Horrible stuff, and I feel bad for my sister that was like her introduction to Batman.
Right.
Was the Batman, and probably was for a lot of other kids who are 16 now.
I watched it because I am a junkie of these things, but I was watching it and I remember liking it at the time. Yeah, that hasn't held up very well.
It really hasn't, and I think I know. I shouldn't say I don't know. I know why Batman the Animated Series does, because it's set in a time period, right? That's not ours.
Okay, that makes sense.
You know what I mean? Like Batman Beyond holds up because it's in the future. And then Batman the Animated Series holds up because it's like in the future past, kind of 30s Art Deco future kind of thing.
Right.
You know, it's obviously not the late 80s and early 90s. But the Batman feels so 2000s that it hurts, because the Joker is almost like you could see him being at a rave.
Right.
It like hurts to look at.
And the 2000s, probably more so than even the 90s, feels really dated.
It really, really does. Like, I watched Hackers the other day from 95. That's a dated movie, but it works for me. Like, I can watch that and be like, that's a cool movie. But if Hackers was made in 2005, I would just hate it probably.
Probably. There's something about the 2000s that we just didn't do the 2000s right.
It was a dark time.
The 2010s, I think we're fine.
Yeah.
The 90s. The 80s feel dated, but not. I don't know. There's something about the way the 2000s aged that just it's not working.
I think the 70s are the same way for me though, because I have a hard time getting into things from the 70s because it just feels like I like dark, dirty, grimy things, but the 70s is almost like suicidal. Like it's that bad for me.
Okay, I can follow that, and maybe that's what it is. Like every so often, there's just a decade that is so filled with edginess.
Yeah,
that it ages very poorly. In the 2000s, you cannot argue that the 2000s was not possibly the most edgy of like the past 4 decades that we've lived in.
Yeah, and it had no cause to be either.
No, everything was relatively prosperous.
Yeah, I mean, you had 2 wars going on, but it wasn't Vietnam, for heaven's sake. You know, like
no, and we hadn't like from the beginning of the 2000s, we were that edgy.
Right.
Before we really were getting into the wars, and then we realized that they weren't ending.
Yeah. We were still edgy. So like there's no excuse.
I
like to point out, by the way, those wars still have not ended.
No, they have not.
It's been like nearly 15 years. 2017 will be this year is the 15-year anniversary of 9/11.
It is.
It's a weird thing to think about. So like the combat in Afghanistan will have been going on for 15 years.
Can we leave that place?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Please. Not this place of conversation. But literally Afghanistan. Can we leave that place?
No, because if we do, it'll fall apart again.
Maybe we should just let it. Because I mean, you leave places and then the people who live there decide how it is that looks, for better or for worse.
Yeah, but
you just let them figure it out.
But then, from the American military perspective, they'll say, well, they would choose ISIS though, because ISIS is the strongest military force, military power in the Middle East right now, next to Israel, and they're not going to side with Israel.
But it's the continual showing up and leaving that created ISIS in the first place.
Oh yeah, and funding the Syrian civil war that helped ISIS to come about as well.
Correct. So maybe we could try non-intervention because intervention is not working.
I'm very proud of myself, by the way. I backed Bashar al-Assad before it was cool.
Nice.
Yeah. I said Assad should stay in power way before it was cool.
Way before it was cool. You're there breaking it.
Yeah.
As usual. So I have another story that cops mistook Krispy Kreme donut glaze for meth. Orlando man says.
I thought you were going to say something else. How? I mean, they're cops. They should be able to immediately recognize Krispy Kreme donut glaze.
That was my first thought. You guys are the donut experts,
right?
How is this a thing?
And that's not even like an offensive stereotype against cops. They freely admit they love donuts.
I mean, I love donuts. I feel like I could be a cop just on the merit of the amount of donuts that I consume fairly regularly, which is a high amount. But
I could be a fat slob because I eat tons of chips. I'm qualified to be a fat slob.
You eat a lot of terrible food.
I do.
I eat a lot of terrible food as well.
Yeah.
And neither of us really seems particularly unhealthy for all the terribleness that we eat.
Well, we're active though, I think.
Fair enough.
I'm probably less active than you are. I'm sure I'm less active than you are, but I do things.
I think as of late, you might be less active than me, but I think overall my on again, off again affair with the gym is when I'm off, I think you're more active than me.
Yeah, maybe so.
But do people ever heckle you about that?
About what?
The you can eat whatever you want.
Oh, my mom all the time. She's always upset at me for it. Yeah. And like other people, like other grown-ups who are like, well, wait till you're 25, you'll balloon. I'm thinking, probably not actually, because like my dad is the same way as me. I think it'll be fine.
I think that I have no idea, because it's just, I think people are just different. And some people can look at food and just gain weight.
Yeah.
And I don't eat well.
I sneeze and I've burned 4,000 calories. Right. I do a whole body like crunch sneeze is the thing.
Yeah, that's what it is. The key there is to distribute the calorie burn throughout your entire body.
Like when I drown, my whole body's shaking because I'm drive. My whole body is shaking because I'm doing the like full body stationary workout.
I mean that's efficiency right there.
Yeah,
getting it done, and you're driving, and you're getting to where you're going.
Man, I'm like, you should feel my pain when I wake up, because in my sleep I'm actually working out too.
Oh wow,
mental gymnastics.
Active dreamer.
That's what I do. Flying around.
This is the donut story, because we want to know how this could possibly happen.
Do you want to play news presenter and read the story?
I will play your role.
Okay.
And read the story. Daniel Rushing treats himself to a Krispy Kreme donut every other Wednesday. He used to eat them in his car. Not anymore. No, this is hard. I really can't. I can't do your job. I want to laugh.
Can I take a shot at that first line there?
Hey, there you go.
Let me see. Because you gotta do the noise, the news presenter voice. Daniel Rushing treats himself to a Krispy Kreme donut every other Wednesday. He used to eat them in his car. Not anymore. You may continue.
That's how you do the news,
that's how you
boys and girls.
That's why I do what I do.
If this is a job that you want to do.
If it was a sports story, I'd mispronounce the name of every team. So it's a good thing you do what you do and I do what I do.
I think we should just keep our jobs separate.
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to lie. I don't want to do your job.
I don't want to do your job, so it all works out.
There you go. Not since a pair of Orlando officers pulled him over, spotted 4 tiny flakes of glaze on his floorboard, and arrested him, saying there were pieces of crystal methamphetamine.
Did they say it that way? Boy, there's bits of crystal methamphetamine on your floor.
No, there isn't. Yes, there is.
It's donut glaze. You making fun of us? Like, you imagine me like, no, officer, it's donut glaze. Yeah, right. And they just beat him over the head.
I got the box right here.
Oh, you waited for us, huh?
There's no donuts in here, but I do see more meth. I ate them.
This donut box is full of meth. You're cooking meth in your donuts, boy.
Why would you assume that? The officers did 2 roadside drug tests, and both came back positive for the illegal substance, according to his arrest report. He was handcuffed, arrested, taken to jail, and strip searched, he said. A state crime lab, however, did another test several weeks later and cleared him.
Well, yeah, because several weeks later, he's not on meth anymore, you idiots. He's not high anymore. He's been in jail.
I don't know if did they take a test with the same sample?
Oh, I guess they could have.
I have no idea how that works.
I like the idea that like he's been in a holding cell all this time. They're like, all right, we need to test you again. Oh, he's clean. Huh.
See, no meth.
He's like shaking on the floor. He's like, oh, I need more meth. Now that I'm not on meth, can I have some?
No, but we have more donuts. That works.
Same thing. Maybe we should inspect the Krispy Kreme factory.
We should. There is a Krispy Kreme on Brainerd, and they make all of their donuts right there.
We should ask for meth.
There we go. Just walk up to the counter.
Hey, you guys got any of the crystal
Crystal
that drain
donuts?
cleaner and battery acid?
For dessert.
You got some pseudoephedrine? I can make my own.
I just need you to provide the donuts. I'll make the meth.
I'm just imagining like Badger from Breaking Bad. Hey, do you have any pseudo? Because he would do that.
Yeah.
Hey, they got meth in here. Best place to go is Krispy Kreme, guys.
Oh, okay. It was incredible, he said. It feels scary when you haven't done anything wrong and get arrested. It's just a terrible feeling. Rushing 64 of Orlando was arrested about 1 p.m.
He would die of a heart attack if he did meth. He can't do meth.
Can't do meth.
He would die immediately.
I would say this in my advice to not ever taking meth.
Mm-hmm.
Never take meth.
Especially if you're on blood thinners.
Right. But if you're 64 years old, really don't take meth, though.
Meth and Viagra don't mix.
I don't think so. That wouldn't be my ideal combination of drugs. No, not really.
Viagra is meth? I thought about it.
I don't know.
I mean, like ADD medication is meth, so why not?
That's true.
Why not that too?
It's weird how the whole pharmaceutical industry works with that. By the way, that just nobody can sell meth. Nobody can make meth.
Except for Bayer.
Except for Bayer. They get away with making meth. Or I don't know exactly what ADHD medication is called, but it's like a controlled combination of meth and cocaine.
Yes.
Which I read this and I go, so they get to sell it legally?
Yeah.
And I'm not arguing for everybody's ability to sell meth, but I just feel like that there's a double standard here, obviously.
What I'm saying is if they can sell meth, why can't I? Well, you heard about fentanyl, right? Like that's a big thing going on right now.
Go into that a little.
Okay, so in the CPD, the Chattanooga Police Department, they're having to get out this antidote for opioid overdose. And the reason is fentanyl is on the streets, and it's like a big deal because it's 30 times more powerful and potent than heroin.
Oh.
It's a legal thing. Like it's a prescription thing that you can get. It's like morphine is like a legal thing that hospitals will dole out. Well, fentanyl is the same way, but like it's getting on the streets and the kids love it. So yeah, like officers will accidentally like poke their hands with a fentanyl needle, and like they're overdosing on heroin from like half a syringe worth of something. Like it is ridiculous.
It's crazy.
But multiple people have died because of fentanyl, thinking it's heroin.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Which I mean, maybe there's some argument to be made about like Darwin or something in there, but
but still,
just because you do heroin doesn't make you the worst person on the planet, and
you certainly don't deserve to die. Yeah, no. I wouldn't say that at all.
I would, but no. No, I mean, I take the Philippines approach. We should just get rid of them.
But the Philippines have some extreme views on people we should get rid of.
The president in the Philippines, I think it's the Philippines. Was it the Philippines?
I think it might have been.
Yeah, the president in the Philippines is like, just kill all the drug users. Just do it. And like citizens are actually kind of doing it now.
Just like, yeah, no, we totally agree.
The president said to.
Give me my knife.
You're right. No, he said shoot specifically.
Oh, he specifically said shoot. Oh,
it's like the opposite of gun grabbing in America. Like we're all worried about it. What if the president said the opposite? He's like, shoot people now.
The president is just like, look, I want to reduce violent crime against innocent people. What if we gave everybody a target to shoot? Then they would shoot that and leave everybody else alone. I mean, I can't think that that's like a great strategy at all, but it
worked for Hitler. It could work here.
I suppose.
We just need to find a group to marginalize. I say the Irish.
You say the Irish?
Because I'm Scottish, I can say that.
You can... I mean, I can't think of any groups to marginalize from the position from which I sit.
Come now, Keon. Maybe people who do something like gang members, because there are lots of different The gangs are a very multicultural group.
Fair enough. What about celebrity TV stars? Because their job's pretty much inherently worthless.
And directly contributes to the downfall of our society.
Correct.
They are useless individuals.
And that no one culture is represented by reality TV well, like ever.
So Real Housewives of Atlanta, we're coming for you.
Exactly.
Watch out.
We'll drive down there, and it'll take 2.5 hours, but we'll get there eventually.
Or like 3.5 in traffic.
Right. Gotta leave late. That's the trick.
2 young men pulled over for having a stash of weapons in their car, saying they would murder the Real Housewives of Atlanta. More at 11.
2 Millennials Talk. This is Hot 1240 Hot News Talk Radio.
You give us 12 minutes and 40 seconds, we'll give you Chattanooga and the world.